my mind a lot. Don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe, miss you every day. You like my oxygen, make it seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up, break you in and break you out. In the end, we're gonna make it.
I don't even know if I'm centered. Dionna, welcome back to another episode of All Time High. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. A little under the weather since I've come back from my trip, but we're bouncing back as quickly as we can.
Where were you this time? Were you Vegas, Miami? That's typically my two choices. A, B, everywhere. Or none of the above?
Miami, Denver, Tampa, Daytona, a lot of Florida, which, is my stomping ground. So I wasn't mad about it.
Yeah. And I know you're doing fundraising for company activities that you've got going on. It's going well for those. And maybe that's in a future episode, but
maybe
today we have more pressing matters at hand.
I'm excited. I'm intrigued, Jim. I want to hear what you got.
And I'm excited too, because normally I don't bring the paper to the meeting, right? But today I have 3 pieces of paper.
3? 3 is my number too.
3, your lucky number.
That's my lucky number. Oh.
And the reason I only have 3 pieces of paper is because it was just released. There are now 309 pages of text that are out there as we're looking to get the Clarity Act passed.
That's a lot. That's a lot of reading. Like, who reads all 309? This is one of those times where you're just like, hey, ChatGPT, tell me what
Let's summarize this. Let's condense this.
Break it down for me.
So here's what's interesting about it. The Clarity Act, so the Genius Act, which basically established stablecoins and how that was going to be governed, that has already successfully passed. The Clarity Act that we've been waiting on was actually passed by the House last July. What we're looking at now is the Senate is redone the markup for them to negotiate the different issues. Do you remember Brian Armstrong and the issue he had that kind of train wrecked the whole thing? Do you want to?
Oh yeah, Mr. Coinbase himself. Yeah.
What's that?
Mr. Coinbase himself. In it for the people. Got to have that staking reward system.
He wasn't in it for the people when he let 15% of his staff go.
That's can't win them all, I guess.
And did you see in the announcement, he said that part of the reduction in staff was going to involve vibe coding on certain aspects of the app so that, he's basically saying he didn't know what he was talking about and that there would be security risks. I'm just telling you, not financial advice. Do your own research. But all my coins, they are off the Coinbase exchange. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I got, Coinbase actually, like a year or 2 ago, maybe even 3 years ago now, gave me a whole issue and asked me to keep going through and re-verifying myself. And I did. And I just was never able to get back on. And there was no illicit activity. It wasn't for any particular reason. It was really weird. And, I hate because you can almost never get anybody on the phone at any of those places. So it's just easier to not deal with them. And obviously now is a definitely good choice if they're doing vibe coding as their standard.
Yeah. Well, and he's for the people when it benefits him, and then he's not for the people when it benefits him. And so the common thread isn't about people, it's about being there for himself. But I think we've moved on from that issue. And don't get me wrong, he got to where he is by taking good risks. Mm-hmm. But at this point, he's doing what's in the best interest of Coinbase and his shareholders. That's why earlier he held up the whole thing on the interest stuff. He wants to say that they should be able to provide interest on stablecoins.
Yeah.
Apparently they've worked through that issue.
Okay.
Seemingly both sides are going to give enough and he's going to let it go. And this is not going to be the problem this time.
What do we know where they landed on it? Are they for some type of staking rewards? Are they saying, did he just walk away altogether and be like, no, nobody's getting anything?
So no, this is Brian Armstrong's quote from Yahoo Finance. Not everyone got everything they wanted, but they got the must-haves. So read a different way, interest and yield payments are permitted only when, and this comes from the text, only when made solely in connection with the holding of payment stable coins are structured to be economically equivalent to interest on a bank deposit.
Oh, Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. You know, I find it interesting that was a sticking point because right now Cash App is giving like 3 to 4%, like APY.
Yeah. Oh no. I went
Yeah.
through the whole process, not financial advice, do your own research with Nexo. Are you familiar with them?
Yes. Yeah.
They were in the US. They shut it down during the regulation by enforcement regime of Gary Gensler. Then they came back when the new president was elected. I might as well say his name now.
No. We're
There's
almost
almost
through.
no way to get through this episode without saying that name.
We could say this administration.
This administration, right, gets elected, things start changing, and well, you know what? I'm going to cut to the chase, Dionna.
Do it.
I mean,
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just give it to us.
Here's the alpha. I've figured this thing out. I see. I've read the tea leaves.
Okay. All right.
There's one thing that's going to kill the bill this time. There's only one thing.
Just one.
You know what it
is
is? Because they believe this thing is going to markup. Let me give you the time.
Wait, did you just say what it was?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, did I
This is
miss
where you
it?
tell people to like the episode, share with friends, and all that. You
Yes,
wanna tell them
definitely.
about it?
Especially if you want to hear him say what it is, like and share,
Yeah.
because we
Look up
all
the
want this
algorithm.
news
Help
right now.
us.
I'm on the edge of my seat, literally.
Yes. So here's the deal. They've released this 309-page document.
Okay.
Markup is scheduled for this Thursday, May 14th at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Excuse me, 9:30 a.m. It's 10:30 Eastern in room 538 of the Dirksen Senate Office Building.
Okay.
And the thing that's not in this bill that could indeed kill it with its absence is there happens to be no provision for ethics.
Just, of course not. Of
You
course.
knocked over this is a
I was so shocked. I hit my microphone.
The bill contains no language restricting senior government officials from profiting off the digital asset industry while regulating it. There's no provisions for that. I guess the House forgot. I forget the Senate forgot. I guess the banking lobby forgot about that important provision.
Uh-oh.
Why wouldn't they want to include it?
Well, I mean, now you're just going to cut everybody off. Now, because if one person gets restricted, don't they all have to get restricted? And just out of curiosity, do they have these same provisions when it comes to lawmakers and stocks that they buy?
They do not.
They do not.
But they are
Okay.
starting to introduce them. Wouldn't it be ironic if the introduction of those laws that would prevent them from making money in the stock market were not actually enacted in the crypto market? Might that give them another vehicle, another avenue with which to participate in on a financial side?
Yes.
But I didn't say that was the reason it was going to go through. People are listening to this and thinking, well, Jim, if that's the case, then they're just going to vote it through because now they have a different way to be corrupt and make more money.
Oh, no.
But no. Wait,
no.
there's more
Oh.
to this story.
Oh. I should
You
have brought
remember-
popcorn to this episode.
Yeah, I know. I need some popcorn. I'm going to bring some to the next episode. That's for sure. There's a certain president who has a certain coin. Have you heard about it?
Ah, yes. Would this be the World Liberty Financial Coin?
It is, indeed. It is by your current president and his family, most notably his sons,
Okay.
which is
okay.
ironic as I use wordplay to say that one of the original investors, another son, not one of, but
Oh,
right?
I see what
Justin's
you did there.
son, you
I
saw
see
that.
what you did there. I like
Justin's
that.
son brought suit in April, highlighting the malfeasance and lack of governance that's occurring within World Liberty Financial Coin. Would you like to tell our listeners about what's going on there?
Yeah. So right now there is a lawsuit against Justin's son and let's say some of the children of this administration and or some members of this administration. And he is alleging that because of them locking up, threatening to burn, essentially mismanaging his investment, so to speak, especially if he was one of those early investors. So he's accusing them of some funny business and there's a lawsuit forward going because of it.
So basically he invested And through the governance, which the family controls, they locked up his coins for a period of
Yep.
two years. And so he's alleging fraud. That's the lawsuit that Sun is taking against the family.
Okay.
And then the family is countersuing him for defamation of character and all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I thought it would be interesting too, though. These types of things do have an impact on the market. And by the way, full disclosure, I do own a small bit of World Liberty Financial. So
What?
not financial advice. Do your own research. My risk tolerance is not yours. But you can see, had a very interesting debut in August of last year. I think
that's when trading started, somewhere around there.
And boy, oh boy, that's a nice little launch, 31 cents. But it's gone through some ratcheting down is a nice way to put it.
Sure. But I also want to say, unless you're coming with a coin out the gate with some strong utility behind it, this is not an atypical thing that we're looking at. Most coins, when they first launch, hold this type of trajectory because there's that hype of it's going to do this, it's going to do this, it's going to do this, and it goes and it launches and it comes out, and then people capitalize on the fact that it's out and they sell. So the way that I kind of read this is that Justin's son bought in. He locked his coins up.
Early.
Bought in early. So, but as an accredited investor, it's not uncommon to say that you're locked up for 1 year and you're not allowed to touch your coins. So let's say it launches in October of 24. His lift comes in September of 25. You got a nice little peak there. Maybe they got wind that he was going to dump a bunch of coins on the market, which obviously would suppress it even more. I think what gets really interesting is, okay, so let's say that's the case. Let's say that they were like, nope, we're going to safeguard you from suppressing this even more. So we're going to lock up your coins so you can't sell them. What's the difference between that happening and when Robinhood did it with, what's the video game place?
Oh, GameStop.
Yeah. So GameStop and AMC, right? That whole, they shut off trades. They were like, oh, our system's broken. Sorry, you can't access and you can't buy anymore. And they just completely shut it off. So if you're going to start making it for one industry, you better make it for both because them's is the rules at the moment.
Well, yeah, that's a new addition. That's a corollary to your original Dionna statement, which is rules for thee, not for me.
Pretty much, right? It's so blatant and annoying at this point.
Yes. And I'm looking at it. I mean, it went from 31 cents, kind of hovered in this 18-cent range, then dropped down to the 10-cent range, which it was seeming like that was the floor until early April when, lo and behold, somebody must have gotten wind of, or the information about the lawsuit dropped. And so in turn did the pricing as it went to 6 cents down to 5 cents. And so the token value at that time was around 183 million. Whereas at the launch upon its inception, we were looking at 3.8 billion. And I'm not saying the family grabbed all the spread between the 3.8 billion and the 183 million, but let's just say they got their fair share. Let's just say that there's a certain justice warrior that's going to come out and point this out as this thing gets debated, as this thing seeks the 60 votes that it needs to pass. Mind you, 60 votes. What does that mean? We're going to have to get some people from the other side of the aisle. Who do we know that's on a Senate banking committee that has a crypto army? Who would that be, Dionna? Anyone you know that might bring up this in the coming days?
You mean Miss Elizabeth Warren herself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Senator
that one.
Warren.
That lady.
Yeah, I think.
Thanks. The good old JetBlue supporter or Spirit supporter.
You went there.
Oh,
you want to explain, or just an inside joke that we'll leave? We'll leave it for later.
We'll leave it
unless you'd like to explain it. Go ahead.
For Spirit, actually, we were at the fights. It was so funny, and you hear somebody. We walk in afterwards, and somebody goes, "Spirit just canceled all of their flights," and we're all seasoned travelers, and I'm like, "Who booked Spirit?" And you hear this. Me. And it was one of the fighters' wives. And I was like, well, we all learned that lesson at least once, honey. And she learned it for good because now she can't book it ever again. So, at some point you learn.
I got you. And here's what I've learned. You ready?
Let's hear it.
I've already got the notes on what Warren's going to frame this deal as.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it. I'm curious.
And I just pointed it out analytically what the amount was, but she's going to say that the family, boy, I'm trying not to say names. I'm trying not to name names.
The Schmamly.
The Schmamly raked in at least 1.4 billion in gains, whatever, in gains from crypto deals alone in his first year in office. And this bill, according to her, stunningly includes zero provisions to prevent that. Stunningly. I can almost hear her say it.
Well, but I also think it's worded very interesting, right? Because they're saying their first year, it's like they're not saying off this particular project. And this is the other thing I love about blockchain is guess how easy it would be to see if they pulled profits, because you can just pull from their, like, it's all traceable. It's all trackable. Now, could they have collectively made that much money? Definitely. But think about this for a minute. If the net market for that coin, like the top market cap was what, 3.6 billion, you said, when it launched in, right?
I think I had something like that.
So if they made 1.5 billion off of this, they would have cut the market cap in half as soon as they took profits.
Call it 3.9 billion.
Okay.
3.87 to be exact.
Is the highest market cap, yes?
Yes. And right now it's closer to 118 million. So that's 0.1. So there's 3.7 trillion in there somewhere, or 3.7 billion, excuse me, 3.7 billion, because the entire market cap for the entire space is closer to 2.7 trillion. So there's 3.7 billion, much smaller number, alone in World Liberty Financial that has evaporated in value as they've tried to allegedly substantiate investors. I mean, there's so much dirt that's going to come out on this Justin Sun lawsuit. I mean, it's partially already there, but the family allegedly has taken 1.4 billion. The one thing I will say about Senator Warren, she likely knows indeed, or has people on her team that can track down the money. She is on the Senate Finance Banking Committee. Yes.
Yeah, but here the problem is they haven't done anything wrong. Like even if they do, where is the crime? What is the thing that they have done wrong?
So here, you ready for the White House position on this particular lack of ethics provision in the bill that we're looking at?
Prove it. Prove we did something wrong. I feel like a Dave Chappelle voice coming in right now.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm channeling that Dave Chappelle energy. Like, okay, you want the truth? Here's the truth. The rules that don't exist apply equally across the board. You saw that coming from a mile away. And they apply equally often the president all the way down to the brand new intern on Capitol Hill. Rules are the same. And the rules are what?
Rules for thee, but not for me. Yes. Those are the rules.
And they really do want to avoid singling out any particular person.
Of course.
Whether it's a staffer, intern, or the president for that matter. And I'm not for or against that part. It's a little crazy at this point, everything that's preceded this. But I'm telling you, this is going to be a fulcrum, a tipping point, because it's something that the media is going to pick up on.
Sure.
You have a fight. And this is where I wish the current administration would have just waited, because all these things could have happened anyway.
Yep.
If they just would have got this across the finish line.
Yeah.
So we get to this place in the conversation. I think the bankers are fine. I'm not sure, but I think so. I think Brian Armstrong is fine. I'm not sure, but I think so. My question to you, Dionna, meditate, contemplate, substantiate. Is this bill going to make it through by July 4th?
No.
Because...
No. Sorry. I know, but I just want to tell you.
You're usually the positive one.
Do you know why? Just so we're clear, the holdup on the bill is ethics. And we all know that our current schmoverment is fantastic at ethics. So obviously they're going to be able to come up with something that's fair across the board.
So Dionna, not to be oppositional defiant, I've never been accused of that, but I'm going to take the other side of the coin.
What?
I'm going to say that for that very reason, because they have no ethics and there are no ethics provisions in it, that it will pass.
It will pass.
Normally,
That's
I'm the one
funny.
that tells you, no, wait, we got something's about to drop, something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think we're at the point. Midterm elections are at stake, and I'm going to tell you, this is my little working theory. They saw the election turn last time on a single voter issue, and this was it. And if, as bad as things are right now, and things aren't great, generally speaking, in society, there's a lot of conflict.
For sure.
Neither side wants to be on the wrong side of this single voter issue that carries a lot of weight, a lot more than it once did. Surprisingly, it carried the last election, and they all know it.
So are you saying that if the majority is in support and they don't get the other side to swing over, that could be a single issue voter at midterms all of a sudden starts to, okay. Yeah. I mean, it's I don't know, I felt before, I don't know. I think before it felt bigger than it does this time. I don't know why. I feel like the more people are just focused on like getting through the day to day. You know what I mean? Whereas before everybody was like, oh, we want an opportunity. But like, I feel like people are getting so swallowed up right now that they're not even thinking about that part. I mean, maybe. I'll tell you, in my day-to-day life and the places that I'm going and the conversations I'm having, the dynamics have changed quite a bit as far as within the industry, out of the industry, and what people's concerns are. So
you were at the Bitcoin conference in Miami, right?
Yeah, briefly. Very, very briefly.
Very briefly.
Yeah.
As big or bigger, or as smaller than years past? I don't know. That's only context I think that would be
I mean, it's always big, right? So, I mean, This is the first time I think Consensus has been in Miami, but Consensus is held by CoinDesk, which we know is like a gigantic publication, right? Like a huge news list. So, and they have like, Michael Casey, who runs the blockchain lab out of MIT, is the head of CoinDesk, and they're very, very well reputed. But then the week right before in Vegas, you had Bitcoin 2026, which is David Bailey's promotion, and his conference, and he's in bed with all the schmoverment people at the moment. So, it's a lot of, in my opinion, it feels like a lot of noise. It just feels like a lot of noise.
The inverse AIC. All right. So here's the deal. You're familiar with Polymarket? This is where a lot of the crypto money is going. I know the government schmoverment says it's going overseas, and it is. Developers are going overseas. But a lot of the crypto bros are off the crypto because it's not been going up. At best, it's going sideways, mostly going down. So where do you go? Where do you spend your time? I'm going to show you where they are.
Polymarket.
Me,
I spend my time trying to figure out if Spencer Pratt's going to win LA. That's what I'm trying to do. Or at least being entertained by his videos while he's...
When's that election? Is there a general
May 2nd
election?
Is the end. It's starting. It's active right now.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait. June 2nd. Or it goes to like June 2nd or 3rd or something like that.
He's entertaining. I'll give him that. And we were talking a little bit off air before being on camera. And he's done this thing with connecting with the community through these videos and his AI capabilities. Like, if you remember, there's a presidential election in 2008 where one candidate was using social media real effectively, and it was impressive. It changed the game. And I feel like Pratt presently is using AI in a way that nobody ever has before. So,
right.
Is that fair?
Yeah. And just to throw it out there for our viewers again, we're not a one side or the other type. We're common sense, and we're about making everybody money. So as long as we're all thriving with money falling out of our pockets, it doesn't make a difference to me who's doing what,
Well, and they do say people vote with their wallets, right? And that's true. Yeah. They really do. Like, so that's part of why I think they're going to put as hard a press on getting this Clarity Act through as ever before, because if they don't do it and the market doesn't improve and people don't, well, then they're going to vote with their wallet, and we're going to change. And the ability to pass this into law isn't going to happen. We'll have missed that window, because right now, even with a majority Republicans, they're going to need some votes from the Democratic side of the aisle. There are some people that are there already, but it's not going to get through cleanly. It's not been quickly. And as I look at this, this is the Polymarket bet on whether or not the Clarity Act is going to be signed into law in 2026. So my bet was by 4.
They're not even going by July 4th. They're going like this year.
And so somebody, I mean, when you get up to 75%, that's a pretty good potential. It was as high as 82% previously, and then Brian Armstrong came out against the deal. So here we are. When I say that, I mean he came out against the legislation and the interest issue. So now here we are. It was as high as 73% a few days ago, and now it's cascading down quickly to 60%. I don't know what people know. Could just simply be betting, because, for example, if I put, the way this works for those people that don't know, if I were to put $100 on this, and maybe I should put my money where my mouth is, and said that yes, it was going to happen. I said, well, by July 4th. So if it happens by end of the year, it's going to be, I get paid back how much? $166.
Yeah, you win 66.71. That's not bad.
It's not bad at all. And if I bet $100 that it does not pass, wow, look at that.
Wow.
Dionna, why do you need to buy crypto anymore? Just play Polymarket.
This is not financial advice.
I'm just persuading her, because
this is Jim's entertainment.
this is me looking for the arbitrage, trying to find the scale, trying to find the value, and the value on this bet is on the no side of it, because
yeah, but that means they're really assuming it's gonna pass, right? Because no pays bigger, because they're not gonna pay out.
The way Polymarket works, if you see over there, it's got $725,000 sitting in the kitty. The house is going to take their money, and the spread between the two is somebody's going to take it. So the more money sitting there, right, and your willingness to go further out on the risk curve, depending upon where the market goes. Like if somebody comes in and places a big bet, it moves it. I mean, obviously, look at that. Somebody, it was hovering at that lower level at 45%.
Damn, look at that shoot up right there, though. Look at that. Boom.
Bam, 69. And you know what? Just because we're here, have you seen the amount of things that you can wager on in Polymarket?
No, I did look up. So the only time I've ever been on Polymarket was I tried to look up if Spencer Pratt was going to win. I guess, like, listen, all of a sudden he just popped up in my feed, and it has been just like, and like his content, you know, we're marketing people. His content is freaking golden. Like, so I get,
right, we're
going to
go there in a second. We're going to go to Spencer Pratt in a second. But look at this. Well, what price? Well, it starts out with BTC, up or down, day by day. I mean, I can make all this money.
That's crazy.
24 million in volume on Bitcoin up or down in 5 minutes. Are you kidding me?
This is not sound financial advice, people. This is definitely entertainment stuff at this point. You do your own research and never, ever, ever risk more than you can lose, because
that's a really good guide. And look at that. Now, here's another thing. So what, hold on, I say this because I know XRP pretty well.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So check this out. I'm going to click into this one, and we're going to talk about it for a second. This price has been locked in the $1.44 range for the longest. If you're a holder, you know there hasn't been much move to either side. So when I look at that, is it above 160 or below 120, and try to figure out what the price is going to hit, I go down and look and see $639,000. Not only does the house Polymarket get the VIG, the 10% on either side of the bet, but if it stays in that window, right? If it stays at that 144 and doesn't go up to 160, above it or below 120, it's going to take and scoop all that money. What? Right? Because on the win or loss, when above or below, it's getting the percentage on either side of the people betting the other side. But if it doesn't reach the other side of either, it stays in the middle, and all that money comes into Polymarket.
So what you're saying is we're in the wrong business, and we need to start a Polymarket something. Like, this seems to be where this is how you make some money. How do we do this?
Well, and yeah, all right, we're going to politics. I'm doing your Spencer Pratt thing. I can't believe we're here, but you're fascinated. There we go.
I am fascinated. I love a good underdog story. I think what Karen Bass did to LA is absolutely despicable. I love her things. It's like, the buck stops with me. And it's like, that's not how it works. Climate change. Okay.
She's still favored. Look at this. The money. Smart. I don't know if it's dumb money or smart money. I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Karen Bass is still favored at 53%. So what that is telling me, and you've been here before, Dionna, if you like Spencer, you can get in at a really good price. Or better yet, a really nice
I might
return
just
on
for
it.
the fun of it. I'm not usually, the last few times I felt like I should have, and I didn't, I've missed out. So maybe I will.
Now he's up 11%. Karen Bass is up 5%. It's clear that the others are going down significantly. But if you put $100 on him, ooh, Dionna. See why people are not in crypto right now?
Yeah. Well, I love crypto, but not for nothing. We need some new, like, something we need some fresh something in the industry. It feels very stagnant at the moment. There's no
I'll tell you what
innovation.
it'll be. It's happening. We're gonna tokenize real world assets, and then whatever you're holding, it'll be too late to buy it then because the institutions are still building their positions. And when you tokenize all the stocks, it's already happening. I mean, it's already happening.
Yeah.
And when people like Fidelity are doing it, and they are, and then later when somebody like Charles Schwab does it, you'll know the late arrivers to the party are finally participating. They're the old school institutional money. And if you tokenize all the stocks in the world and they trade on the rails of crypto, not a lot of them are going to win, but there's going to be 4 or 5, just like with Amazon and Google and Facebook and Netflix. There are going to be winners in the space.
Yeah.
Don't know who they're going to be. There are going to be winners in this election.
Yeah.
And that's all. We just need to get in our DeLorean, grab the sports almanac, fly back in time, place our bets wisely.
That's right.
And scoop the dollars.
I just had this whole debate with somebody the other night, and they kind of were tearing into me about like, wow, crypto's a bubble, and it's, and I'm like, maybe, like, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't predict things. I can tell you this, it's an opportunity to make money. Like when you're looking at blue chip stocks, if you want to put anything into investments in like stocks, if you want to do the good stocks, you have to be an accredited investor in order to really make the money. You don't have to be with Bitcoin. You don't have to be with Ethereum. You don't have to be with any of those top 5 coins that Trump named, or 10 that and even off the wall ones that have very low hanging fruit. Don't do your own research, because I don't know, what they have going on in their ability to make money. But to me, this asset class levels the playing field and gives the layman common person an opportunity to participate in things that have a return on value the way that the richy rich get to do it. And so, we can go back and forth on use cases and legislations. And I think at the end of the day, what we want everybody to understand is there's opportunity here. So do your research. That's why we come here. We come here to educate you. We want you to know that there is ways to make money in this asset class if you pay attention and you listen to Jim and I, because we're smart, even though we're not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice.
I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. But my belief system says that 2.87 trillion goes to some number higher. Right now, there's a lot of volatility. If the legislation doesn't pass, you're talking about, can I hold? And this is why we say, be willing to hold your losses, or better yet, this thing might not pass till 2030. That hurts, doesn't it?
I mean, yes and no. We already got what do I care? The top 10 coins have already had their, Bitcoin's a commodity, Ethereum's a commodity, like XRP is a commodity. So there you go. Like, have at it. You have everything else, in my opinion, is just kind of them picking over the scraps to decide what little bit we're actually going to get it when they're done.
Yes. And it's in markup later this week. If it makes it through cloture, it'll get onto the floor. When it's on the floor, you're going to need 60 votes. And how much a deal they make out of this ethics concern, we'll see. But if anybody can pass legislation that doesn't involve ethics, it is the U.S. government.
That is right. Our schmubberment's the best.
Our schmubberment at its best. All right, Deanna, thanks for another great episode of All Time High.
Yes,
we'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye.
You on my mind a lot. Don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my